Good morning, and good morning. Happy Tuesday. I come to you live, raw, and uncut. Okay. So the Lord is like, Candace, it's time to get back out there. It's time to open your mouth again. It's time to continue to become and do what I told you to do from the beginning. So, as you all know, I started this channel a few years ago, and it was, I believe, during the pandemic. And so I'm back. I have been in a season for the last 7 months. And it's just been me and God, and He's been removing, sifting, shifting, replacing, doing all the things that God can do and only He can do. He is taking me to a place I thought I'd never be ready for, but with Him and all of His help and His teaching, Jesus, I'll be more than ready. What better teacher could I have than the Lord, So I'm coming today to ask you, will you be the standard? And it just came to me. I have been charged with going deeper in Ruth this week. I touched on it a little bit on Saturday, but even just going deeper in it yesterday, there are so many lessons. And when you take the time to really dissect every line and even do your own studying and research on things that you don't understand, it's just a different level, when you go deeper and higher in God. So as I sit here, I was recalling something that He has said to me, and He said it in two different ways. The first time it was, will you be the first? And I said, sure, Lord, I'll be the first, to break generational curses. I'll be the first to do things that's never been done in my family. And then He said, but are you willing to be the standard? Are you willing to be the standard? And I'm sitting here trying not to cry, because I really wish sometimes I would think as highly of myself as the Lord does, okay? Will you be the standard? Will you be the standard, meaning there's no blueprint to what I'm calling you to do. There's no blueprint for who you're supposed to be. Because I've designed you and you to be you. And so as I studied Ruth yesterday, and I know why He wants me to study this, because He wants me to understand that don't do this to me right now, that no matter how it started or what your start was, I'm in control of the ending. And it's like, I can do extraordinary with somebody as ordinary as you. My God. And Jesus. Help me, Lord. Help me, Lord. And I tend to get excited, but it's not tears of sadness, it's tears of joy, because when what heaven speaks about you touches earth and actually touches your heart, it makes you see things so clearly. The rose-colored glasses are removed, And this week, I believe the lesson is on loyalty, trusting in the process, okay? Enduring the unknown and sitting still Even when you don't know where you fit into the grand scheme of things. Okay? The journey is not, how am I trying to say it? The journey is not a mistake. That's it. The journey is not the mistake. And even who you're meant to journey with is not a mistake, you know? It's, will you be loyal in becoming the standard? Will you be loyal in becoming the standard? And I'm sitting here, you know, and he's talking now. And it's because he needs just an ordinary girl, an ordinary guy, to know that there is a God that does not forget about you. There is a God that will take you through some things because there's greater. And greatness cannot be built, oh my God, in comfort. So it's endure. What is sent to build you? Even if you feel like it's going to break you, God doesn't put more on you than you can bear, my Lord. So it's like, be consistent, even in small choices. Even in small choices, that's an act of faith. Okay? Because God will use you in your story, in your testimony, for impact and influence in the least likeliest ways possible. And while reading Ruth, again, for the second time in a couple days, I'm taking it chapter by chapter this week, this week, and it's like loyalty, your loyalty, in the place of the unknown, in the place of uncomfortableness, can change the trajectory of your life. That's really what it boils down to. It can change the trajectory of your life. One hard season does not determine your future. And when Ruth decided to follow Naomi, and even in her urging Naomi that I'm not leaving you, it also shows that there is loyalty can be recognized. Okay? Loyalty is something that often doesn't have to be spoken, but can be shown through your actions. And it's also, even in hard seasons, recognizing God's hand in it and the purpose of God's hand. And it is like Ruth showing up, following the directions of a woman who was once her mother-in-law, but she didn't necessarily have to stay tied to her, but she didn't even know that there was purpose tied to her loyalty, tied to her obedience, tied to her audacity, tied to her audacity to be bold and show up even in the unknown. Even in the unknown. That's what keeps coming back to me. Will you be unloyal to the unknown? And yesterday, as I sat with this, my secret place is, most people have war closets, war rooms for their closets. They have closets for their war rooms. I feel so much closer to God by water. So I typically study in my bathtub. my line. I put a cover, maybe 2 quilts in there, a pillow, and I sit there. And that's where I tend to do my Bible study and everything. And as I sat there yesterday, I pondered the question, would I have still said yes to this, even if God gave me the full picture? You know, he give us glimpses and he'll give us pieces, hoping that, we'll stay. And my answer would have been yes. However, in saying yes, would I have been fully committed to it? It would have been easy, but would it have been worth it? Because I wouldn't have learned what faith is. I wouldn't have learned how to remain obedient, how to remain steadfast, how to endure. I wouldn't have learned that he's a God of impossible. And even when it seems like there's no way, he sends provision. His hand is always on my life. And I can testify that it's always been on my life. And maybe I relate so much to Ruth because of where I've come from, or the things that I've endured or seen in my 39 years of living. But to say all of that, I would still say yes, but I would prefer the process over it just simply being handed to me. It's working for it. It's knowing that I put in the work to get what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just handed to me. And it's also that the past is really a teacher. So it's like being taught by the best teacher ever, life, and God. Whew. So I say all of that to say, will you be the standard? Are you willing to endure to be the standard? Are you willing to become who he's calling and chosen you to be? Will you be the standard even when it gets hard? Will you be the standard even when it looks impossible? Will you be the standard, my Lord? Will you be the standard? There is no blueprint for Candace. I am the blueprint. Nobody can do what I do. I can't do what nobody else do. Yes, there are many people. Yes, there are people who are maybe in the same field, or, God called them, but they're not me and I'm not them. So it is showing up. Again, this is my tagline, learning the lessons, okay? To get the blessings and to be a testimony of what God has announced over your life. And it's walking boldly and proudly, even when nobody else understands, even when nobody else sees. In the season that I've gone through recently, the Lord showed me, or brought to my recollection, or gave me the revelation, is what I'll say, that if you would have been more worried about proving, you would have missed the lessons, and you wouldn't have kept walking. You wouldn't have kept walking. So it's be the standard, remain consistent, remain obedient, because the end, he said, will be better than the beginning. The middle may get a little messy, but that doesn't change who you are. And another thing, okay, Holy Spirit, standards sometimes have to be tweaked to fit the room and spaces that you're going into. So on this Tuesday morning, will you be the standard? Have a blessed day, and I pray that this word touches and blesses somebody. Until next time, peace, love, and blessings.